Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. It's Sunday morning. This is my church of pain. This is where I come to worship. Get in here and get lifting some iron. And what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to do a full workout and I'm going to answer some questions. I thought it would be fun to do this live. I've had about 40, 45 questions in the last 4 weeks since the channel's gone live. And I just thought it would be a bit more fun to do it face to face. So if you have a question, stick it in there and I will come back and answer it to the best of my ability. Stephen, thanks very much. Yeah, I'm going to put this up, and I am going to put this up later live. So for those people who don't get the chance to see it now, it's going to go up on the channel. So what I'm doing this morning is I live by my board up there. You can see it, right? Honestly, trying to do things in reverse. Go that way. So that's my board. So as I've said in videos in the past, I've got a 4-phase plan. And so what I do is I do super heavy, which is 8 to 10 reps. The most I can lift for 8 to 10 reps. Then I do super slow, which is 10-second reps. So it's 5 seconds up on the positive, 5 seconds on the negative. Then it is before ready, which is rest pause. So I go like fuck to failure, stop, pause, 5 seconds, go again. And then the last one is tempo. And then that is like 30 reps, constant pace until eventually you just can't move the bar. I break up my training into 3 different body parts, which is pull, legs, and push. So pull is back, traps, and biceps. Legs is hamstrings, calves, and quads. And push is chest, shoulders, triceps. Today, out of all that little beautiful matrix, I'm doing super heavy, chest, shoulders, triceps. So you're going to see me look like I'm having a stroke in a minute because this is the heaviest weight I can lift at my age. So let me just frame it. It's going to be, when I say I'm going to lift as much as I can, what it is within reason. So my biggest problem is I've got a shitty shoulder. My right shoulder's fucked, right? So I have limitations that I can do around that. So it's dead weird. So I'm going to do dumbbell press for the chest. And I'm fine on that, which is dead weird. But I've got to keep a very, very strict form. So my heavy on there is 35 kilos with an extra 2 on the bar. So 37 kilos. So that's what, 74 plus 10%. So that's 82%, 82 pounds. That's it. So if you think you're going to see a really old man do like 120-pound dumbbells, ain't going to happen, right? But the thing is, for me, it's not about how much I lift in relation to somebody else. Of course, the single and most important thing is how am I lifting in relation to me, which is why I have the board. So put on the board my top weight. And the idea with that is just for me to get a measure. I'm 57. And the truth is, I don't want to get weaker. I want to maintain a good degree of high strength, which is in relation to me, which is why I still do super heavy. Because some people say, well, why don't you just cut it back, do 15, 20 reps? Why do you want to go super heavy? Because I still want to be strong. I still want to have a strong infrastructure. And as someone who's never taken testosterone, never done TRT, someone who's never done steroids or any performance enhancing drugs ever, and I will never do that. I might do TRT at some point, but I'm definitely not going to be doing that. Any performance enhancing drugs. I want to, it's very, very hard to build muscle, but I want to still do it. Now, I've had my pre-workout, so my balls are properly tingling, and I'm going to get straight into it. So 2 warm-up sets at 50% of my top weight. So that's 37. I've got some down here, the kind of 21, 22. So that's really not 50%. But what it'll do is I don't go super light on my warm-up sets. It's not like just like bouncing it around. I want something to go through it that's not going to hurt me, but gets me tendons lifting. So I've got the warm-up bars on the dumbbells on the floor and my workout ones over there. So first things first, let's get 10 reps, getting it warmed up. So this is a bit belt and braces. My first one, so I'm going to be moving the screen around a little bit just so you can see me. All the exercises I'm going to be doing on that little bad boy bench behind me. And I've got a Rode mic on, so you're going to be able to hear me Huffing and puffing. So the most important thing with this is don't go too low. That's what fucks up my shoulder. So at the top, 60, 70% down of a normal rep, or what you would see is a really deep rep, and then back up. What I don't do as well is push the dumbbells together at the top. A lot of people do that. That hurts my shoulder. So what I've done is I've adopted and adapted according to the problems I've got. I think Karen's listening. Karen, could you just come in here a second and get me a towel? I might be sat on the towels. Karen will get me a towel. It's red hot in here. I mean, it's England and it's Yorkshire, but it's frigging roasting. No, I'm sat on the towels, love. Could just get me one from the... Yeah, just get one anyway. At the moment, it's going to be running down my face. So I only have 60 seconds rest. So I'm going to answer questions. When you hit target weight, are you happy what happens to your channel? So Stephen's not on here, but are you happy what happens to your channel? When I started this channel, the idea was for me to be able to chart my progress for 6 months, lose the timber, get rid of the sausage, and then at the end, I thought people would jump on. And that was my mistake. I didn't realize how many people would jump on so quick. A couple of thousand subscribers, nearly 50,000 views in a month. Clearly, people want to come along with the journey for me. At the end of this, I mean, it's entirely possible. Thank you, love. So it's entirely possible at the end of this 6 months, that once I'm in great shape, people are not going to stay, or, maybe I get a different audience. I've no idea, to be honest, Stephen. And in all honesty, I don't really care. I just have a massive, massive passion for sharing this journey and trying to help you. And if I can do that, then that's great. And if at the end of this, I mean, when I get back in fantastic shape, then, and if people walk away and they go, it's not for me anymore, well, that's what it is. It did its job. I don't need to do this channel. It's not an income stream worthy of anything at all yet. So we shall see. Second warm-up set. Clock on the wall, 11:40. Right. I'm going to be fucked doing this. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. Right. Just done a 12-week shred. Last day today, hit my 30-stone target. Chuff, ready for granddad body. Getting in there. Granddad's killing it, yeah? With my grandson loves to come in here and have a look around. He picks up the little babby 5-pound kettlebell, throws it around. He's not training. I'm not doing that because I think that's obviously not it. But he just loves to be in the gym. He'll have a little fiddle around on a cross trainer. So I just like him getting used to the idea of lifting. And because I think if he chooses to do that when he gets older, then I'll give him a hand. But yeah, Grandad's nailing it. Right, there we go. First time, first work. I'm sweating already. Right, this is my first working set. So it's 37. I'm looking for 8 to 10. If I do less than 8, I need to drop. But if I can get 10, I'll stay at the same weight for the 4 working sets. I have 3 minutes rest. So I'll be back to answer a question in a second. I'm actually dead serious. You tell me if this is a good idea. And maybe I should just do the Q&A straight to camera at another point. But I'm in it to win it, and I'll try anything once. Four zero. So I did it. I did 8, and yeah, I've nobody spotting me. Karen sometimes trains. Well, she trains with me most of the time, and she's brilliant at spotting me. So I might get an extra one. On my own, I'm not going to go absolute failure. Don't want to be dropping them or anything. Hey, it's good enough. It's what I need. 55 to 85. Big chunk of weight, that, mate. Started at 272 myself at 5'8". I was a cube. I was like, if you're starting your piece to lift, and we did still do a push-pull split, whole body. If you've never lifted whole body, yeah, and just stick with the main body parts. So chest, back, and legs. Don't bother with arms. Don't bother with the other minor stuff. Just get that working really, really well. If you have enough time, you can do it. Start with machines. Don't start with free weights. Don't be doing, deadlifting, squats, barbell bench pressing. None of that shit. Just go on, find a machine, get your level, and build upon that, and then eventually you can go on to free weights, because free weights are so much harder on your body. The machines, you get injured so quick if you're not careful. So whole body routine: chest, legs, and then back. I would do it the other way around. So I'd start with back, which is obviously upper body. Then you do legs, lower body, and then do chest. And if you feel you can do it, do calves, because you don't want to be in shorts, great legs, fantastic physique, and these little puny calves at the bottom. You don't want little chicken legs. So I would do that. Do you follow a specific diet like carnivore or keto? No, I don't. What I do is, it's only about one thing. It's calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie counting. That's all it is for me. If I look at my diet, sometimes I'm higher fat, sometimes higher carb. These last couple of weeks, I've been more high fat than high carb. But as long as I keep within the calorie deficit, the only two numbers that mean anything to me is calories I have in a day, 1,600 at the moment, which gives me a huge calorie deficit, about 1,500, and protein. I must have 200 grams of protein, because otherwise those weights are going to drop like a stone, and that's not going to happen. Set number 2, I have a marker. Where's my marker? There we go. Literally can't remember. I do 2 sets and I go, did I do 2 or 3? Lose my fucking mind in this gym. What the fuck? That wakes you up. 3 minutes. Number 2. Simon, I hope you stay in shape when you're back in shape, mate. I got no choice. The thing that's different this time with the diet, I lost it when I was 43, and I was looking through the spreadsheets the other day, and I showed them on a video. And the thing that surprised me was just how scattered my diet was. I was basically just hanging on by the tail of a tiger. So I was trying to eat nice food and trying to convince myself I could still eat the same, and somehow I'm putting treats and all that. And I'm 14 years older now, and I just understand that's not going to happen. That's not going to really work. So now I know that I just need to have a stronger diet long term. Plus, the other thing is my blood pressure went up. So it's 138 or something like that over 96. But having lost 17 pounds, which is whatever that is, 8 kilos, it's come down to into the 120s and 80s. I think 120 over 80 is good for me at my age. I think that's perfect blood pressure. So, losing I've got another 40 pounds to lose. But once that's gone, my blood pressure is going to be in shape, and that's what I'm doing it for. Karen and I have 5 kids, 5 grandkids. That's what it's all about. Nearly 2 minutes. Loving the videos, watching your journey, definitely helped my motivation. Mate, Dazzler, what a great handle, Dazzler. I wear crazy shirts and I say, I look a right Bobby Dazzler. It's a great word. Thank you. Honestly, I get very emotional when I read the comments. I mean, it's not a channel. I just set it up to just have a video diary of what I'm doing and be able to look at it back in the future and see what I did to get there. And yet, I've had 400 comments, 1,700 likes. It's been very touching, very emotional. There's times I've sat there and I'm not going to say, it's made me eyes sweat. I'm not going to lie. Apologies, I missed the first 5 minutes. My question, Matt, don't apologise. Life's too short. You can go back and watch it if you want. To be honest, it was just me mumbling around trying to get a life to work. I'm a professional. No, that's not right. I will be a professional eventually. What warm-up mobility do stuff? Two questions there. What mobility do you do? I do stretching. So I do stretching in here, everywhere. So I stretch my shoulders. I've got to stretch my shoulders. So it's on my back. It's doing this. It's using the TRX. TRX is great for getting the stretch, because my problem is scar tissue in the joint, not in the joint, in the muscle there. And that's what makes it inflexible. That's what hurts. It's what drags my shoulders out of place, because everything's all a bit of miss. And 50% max weight warm-up, good for you. It works for me. I need that kind of weight so that when I pick that up, it doesn't crucify me, because that's a heavy weight for me, and I'm never going to lift more than that. I mean, I never will. I don't want to drop too much below that, but I'm never going to lift more. Right, third set. And I don't think I'm going to get 8, but I'm going to go, and then I'll drop it down to 32, 33. Fuck me. Come on, one more, Dave, one more. You got it, son. I don't know if I didn't put the thing down. I think you can just still see me. Karen, are you still on? If you can, just tell me, can you see me when I'm doing the work? when I'm doing this set. 3 minutes. That was scrappy. Thanks, Cameron. Cameron's my beloved. Yeah. Just give me a sec. That was a bit scrappy. It was fine. What you can do is you can go down quicker to get it back up. You're kind of bouncing it out of the muscle and it puts extra pressure on the joint, but I'd rather get that than stop. I have the other phases where, say super slow is the second phase. I'm doing 5 seconds up, 5 seconds down. I get plenty of time to do slow reps. This, I just want to, super heavy, I want to monster the biggest weight I can because that's my benchmark of where I am in the gym. The others are more passive. I train to failure and it's bloody hard and it burns and hurts, but I've got to keep up my top strength. I don't want to lose strength as the older I get. Somebody says, do you do giant sets? And a giant set, just in case you don't know what that is where you do one, it's where you do one exercise and then do another straight after it. So you might do, sometimes people do complementary but different. So they'll do something on chest and then something on back, different body part, and you do them giant sets. Sometimes people will do 2 exercises in a row, 2 sets in a row for the same body part like chest, but then but different exercises. So you might do that, and then some people finish by doing some press ups, or they might do some cable crossovers or band crossovers like I do. I don't do it, Simon, because the bottom line is that I don't have the energy. I don't have the fitness. I don't have the muscular fitness, to do it. And, this phased training I do was taught me by my bodybuilding coach back in 2017, when I first got to meet him, Sam Cullingworth, and he taught me all this. And it got me in fantastic shape in 2019. So I'm still doing what I know works. I'm not that big an experimenter. I love doing new exercises, but doing giant sets is not for me. Any more questions? Anybody got anything they want to say? Because I've got a list on the mirror over here. I've got some over here. Right, so 2 minutes. What protein shake do you use? I presume when they put that online, they meant what. It's all coming out. I'm cleaning the gym later, so it's fine. So this is what I use. This is a brand I use. It's called Time for Nutrition. This is really weird. I used to train back in my 20s. And back in the day, you go and get the protein powder and it was like chalk. It was frigging filthy shit. And it was absolutely awful. But you had it, because it's really important. But now this, you get it raspberry smoothie and you go, that's got to be overstating it. Even with water, it tastes amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. So this Time 4, I've tried the lemon meringue. Actually tastes like lemon meringue. What the fuck? And they've got a whole range of them. So these are fantastic. 10 seconds to go. As we get older, it's best to use less weight and more reps. Leave the ego at the door. Yeah, you do, Simon. But I still want to be able to, this isn't ego training to me. This is me trying to maintain my strength. If I start going 20 reps or even 15, 20 reps, I'm not going to be able to maintain my strength. And I just feel intrinsically, really instinctively, that keeping as much strength as I can is really important. So I'm always going to keep the super heavy, but it's only 25% of my training. The rest of it is, like Simon says, they're different types of training. Come on, last set. Oh. Right. That was only 7, but that's good enough. Right. So that's my 4 sets done. Now I'm doing shoulders now. This is where it gets very difficult for me because of my shoulder. I can't do dumbbell press, which I love. I can't even do machine press in the gym or even Smith machine press. There are some exercises I can do. I can do kettlebell front raises, but very light. So finding an exercise that's suitable for my shoulders is really tricky. So what I'm doing is rear delts. And I do bent over rear delts like that. Because the one thing that most people don't do is train rear delts. They'll do the front delts and they'll do chest. And then what you see is, you know, when you see people in the gym and like, ooh. Part of the problem is they don't do rear delts. It's great as well because it's in isolation. So it really, really helps. Because the thing is, the best thing to help my shoulder is to build up the 3 different areas. So you've got your front, your side, and your rear delt. And so the best thing to help my front delt is to work on all 3 different areas. So I do lateral raises, and then now I'm going to do rear delts. I'm asking myself, why am I sat here watching when I should be getting my ass to the gym? Because what he wanted to do was sit and look at a fat ginger fucker sweating his bollocks off, barely being able to breathe and going, you know what? At least I'm not David. That's all I am. I'm just here to help you realize that when life's getting a bit shit, just go, at least I'm not Dave Thomas. What I'm looking for. I feel like I get each day differently. Some days I can go heavy, some not sure why. But I got failure most times it works. I think failure is important. You know, people will disagree. I mean, all of this is open to interpretation. You ask 10 guys like me who are training, they go, half will say go to failure, half will say won't, for all kinds of reasons under the sun. If you don't go to failure, they call it reps in reserve. So what you end up doing is not going to complete failure. And there'd be science to back up everything, but I train every day, 7 days a week. I don't lift weights every day, but I come in here, I do something. And you have to find your way. And this works for me. My injuries are not small, but I manage them very well to be able to lift heavy and do well. And so I'm real happy doing this the way it is. Karen, Karen, are you still on? Yeah, can you get me a drink, please, love? Actually, me what? I just realised, do me a favour, just come in here and get me a water bottle and put some juice in it, would you please? Right, I need to set up for the rear delts. Give us a sec. You can watch me do it. I'll carry on talking while I'm doing it. So my weight on here is 15. That's 15 kilos for each one. Because it's in isolation, that seems like a really small number. Trust me, it isn't when you're doing it in isolation. So I need 7.5. And then I'm using the same dumbbells for scullies. Oh, cheers. Thanks. Yeah, when I do what? Yes, yeah, when I do rear delts. Yeah, cheers, love, thanks. So this is the only thing that's a slight pain in the arse, is I've got to keep taking weights on and off. But I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I would like to get some adjustable dumbbells, but I've only been in this gym. I converted it from my garage into a gym a while ago. And I just want to make sure that I really like it, which I do. I love it. But the thing is, I do want to change it because we've got all the shit in here that should be in a shed somewhere. We don't have a shed. And then once we get a shed, then I'm going to look to put a frame over there that I can attach all kinds of stuff to. But it's a small price to pay having to take them on and off. I look at it as part of my workout. Taking them all on and off. That might be a bit noisy. My apologies. So it's 15. Let's just go for 10. That's not too heavy. Because I'm going to be using them for skull crushers next. Anyway, 5. Protein shakes. Protein shakes are a gift from the gods. People find it hard to get enough protein in because honestly, if you sit there and start looking about how much chicken you need to have and God knows what else to get the protein in, it's massive. But after training, I have a protein. I need that towel. I have a protein shake. 4 scoops of that. 54. No, I can't remember. 50 grams of protein. 25% of what I need for about 300 calories. It's magnificent. It tastes all right. I bang it in and I'm done. Right, rear delts. I'll put this down. You're not going to be able to see a lot because it really is just me leaning over. Got a pillow for my fat ass because it hurts otherwise on the bench. Right. The one thing with this is if you're fat, it's really uncomfortable because I'm pressing down like that. And it, you know, it really, I find it a little bit hard to breathe. But it's the only exercise I can do super heavy for shoulders. So it is what it is. And me whining about it ain't going to make it any better. Warm up set. It feels really weird because it's a short rep. So you're really only going up that far. But that's, you know, when you look at your front shoulder, it's got all this movement. The rear one just doesn't have that much. And that's what it is. The reason why people get older lifting wise is like a nutrition 48 lift in the gym, like the guys in the golden era, lots of reps around 75% of 1 RM. Eat lots of eggs, beef every day. Mate, you're going to do well on that. Got to say 75% of 1 rep max. I just couldn't do it. I can't do it. I don't have that kind of infrastructure. I never have. Somebody asked me, I went out yesterday for the day doing a corporate hospitality thing, and the guy said to me, we got chatting about lifting. He said, are you weightlifting or bodybuilding? And I said, bodybuilding. All I care about is having a great physique. Biggest physique I can get, most muscular. That's all I care about. The amount of weight I lift is irrelevant to me. But, you know, I've seen some guys in the gym get seriously injured, like biceps popping and backs going. And one guy ruptured his knee, couldn't walk properly ever again. And it's like, I don't want that. Besides which, I'm 57. I think it's a bit late for that shit. Right, second set. Back down. I need to get a better pillowcase than that. I didn't realize you'd be able to see it. That's what happens the first time you do anything, innit? You just got to learn as you go. Right, I'll put the weights on for me. Working sets, that's 2 done. Depending what the exercise is, sometimes I'll do 3 working sets because I don't think, 3 warm-up sets because I don't think 2 is enough. And it's not because, it's not really a question of feel. I really don't want to get injured. I've got manageable issues from injuries in the past, and that's fine. Right, Give myself a bit more rest. Give myself a minute from there. Sunday, innit? Here in the Gaines garage. Next question. What pre-workout do you use? I've used Time for Nutrition. You think I'm if you think I'm sponsored by them? No, I'm not. But I use Time for Nutrition. This absolutely blows your bits off. Properly makes your balls dingle. It's great. It's just high caffeine. You need to really look at the ingredients. If you've got any sensitivity around that kind of stuff, because it's powerful. It really, I mean, I have it, and it's just straight away. And it's great for waking me up, because I train at 6 every morning. I get up and train. Yeah, and I feel like I've been hit by a bus at 6 in the morning. Doesn't everybody? Mainly. But got a sample of one of these in a pack I got. I think it's when I got my egg whites and this came through. And cherry cola. It is incredible. So I'm working through the Time for, but this is even better. This is beautiful. It tastes nice. Cherry cola, my favorite flavor. And guess what? Come on. It's only two-thirds the price. Whoop, whoop. Such a tight twat. Just had egg whites. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Phil's asked any creatine. Yeah. 5 grams is what you should have every day. Everybody ums and ahs about it. I have tablets. Back in the day, you had to creatine load, which was awful. You get water, you pile in the creatine. It tasted absolutely vile. And you'd have to load it, which meant that you had to have a lot of a period of time to get your body up to level. You don't need to do that anymore. There's tablets out there. I take 6. I'm a big guy. How much difference it makes, I don't know, but I've seen the science and it's massive. They reckon 12%. So I can't categorically tell you the difference it's made to me, but I have three tablets before I train and 3 after. Right. Any creatine when? There you go, mate. I have 3 tablets, 3 grams before I train, 3 grams after. First working set. These hurt. Fuck me. The best thing about doing those is you can't swing. So I rest it against my calf and I keep my body perfectly still and then go from there. And so the only thing that can move that is my rear delt. You know, if you're doing a compound move like chest, dumbbell press like I've done, you can be doing it with, I didn't take the time, 1:30. Enough rest, but not too much. 3 minutes, it gives me enough recovery time because I want to get the best out of each set. Any more than that, it's too much. Anything under that, I'm not going to lift as much. So 3's been good. But when you're doing like dumbbell chest press like I did, it's using triceps, it's using shoulders on your chest. And as the weight moves about, which you can't help, it moves into different areas and one will compensate for the other. But with that, there's no compensation. There's nothing else it can do apart from bang. So I love it for that. Simon, is your body weight you want to get down to? I've got to get under 200 pounds, dude. I started at 272, which is 123 kilos. And I need to get down. I'm losing 70 pounds in 5 months. And I'm down again this morning, another 0.4 kilos over Friday. I do a Friday weigh-in. So I'm down a pound again. But I want to lose 3.5 pounds a week, which is a lot, I know. But I'm going for it. So I need to get under 200 pounds because that's healthy. Because even at that, if you're English and you're listening to this, you'll know that's 14 stone. 14 stone 4 is 200 pounds. you know, that's still 90 kilos. I mean, I'm only 5'8", and I mean, I kind of look a bit big, right? But you've seen the pictures. If you watch the videos, you've seen the pictures of me when I was small, you've seen the pictures of me when I was light. There was a brilliant moment. There was a guy watching me on Facebook, a client of mine, a business client in 2019. And I was getting ready to compete in my first bodybuilding competition. And I was doing some work with him. And he followed me online and he said, you look great, you look great. But they were an optical illusion. You know, you can be, when you lean on a photograph, you look fucking massive. But in real life, you don't. And I turned up, he looked at me and he's dead dry. He went, I thought you'd look a bit bigger, Dave. And I was like, fucking twat. And I burst out laughing because I love banter. I have a very, very dark sense of humor and I love banter, you know. And it's just, so the thing is, even at 14 stone 4, you know, I'm still a chunk of a guy. That's heavy really for a guy at 5'8". So no, I need to get down under 200. And this morning I'm still, what, 248? Long way to go, but I'm on my way. Right, second. Oh, I'm not counting. Fuck me. How many have I done? I've done 2, right? I've done 2 working sets, right? 2. Fuck me, I can't count to 4 on a train. My head goes, and I'm trying to focus on talking to you guys, which I bloody love. I love doing this. Right, here we go. Come on. Get in the zone, in the zone. God, I feel like I'm going to have a fucking heart attack every time. The only other thing with that as well, my head's not, it's not below my knees. But I do feel like I go a bit lightheaded. But that's why I have that bench thing there. So that there is just a chipboard thingamajig. So when we went into COVID, time, Dave, time, 5:30. So when we went into COVID, we were living in a different house. And we had a tiny barn and we turned it into a little mini gym. Got all these weights and just threw them in. And the guy next door is the landlord. He was a joiner. And I said, I need a bench. And, you know, the bench I've got there is not cheap. It's like 350 quid. It's like $500. And I went, I can't be asked to go and get one of them. Plus in COVID, everything was dead dear, wasn't it, right? So I went to got some weights. This is, we all know this. So I went on eBay and I was looking for just some free weights. And a guy, there was literally a phone number on a piece of paper. And so I phoned it up and he said, yeah, I've got them all in my house. I turned up at this house in Lancashire and it's just piled up everywhere in his house, his tiny house. Anyway, £1 a kilo. So I bought 200 kilos. I phoned him up 3 days later. I said, I need some more. He went, it's £2 a kilo. I went, I'm not paying that. He said, fair enough. So I phoned him a week later. I went, right, I want it. It went £4 a kilo. I went, yeah, I'll come over in a bit. He phoned me back and he said, they've all gone. Right, so back in the day, I said to Ronnie, can you rustle up a bench that's strong enough to take me? And he went, yeah. So we kept it. I was going to get rid of it, but I've kept it because what I don't want to be doing is putting massive, that's where I put my weights together, because it's the little injuries that destroy your training, like trying to pick up 40-kilo dumbbells off the floor. So I'm down there, lifting it up and my back goes a bit weird. So what I do is I get there, get them on my knees, you know, I've got them in my hands. It's stable. So just be careful. If you're putting dumbbells together like me, or even if you've got a set of dumbbells, get them on a rack, get them up at the level you want to be, where you can go and get them, just bring them down to your legs, straight onto the bench and up. None of this walking around here, there and everywhere, trying to pick it up off the floor. I can't remember the fucking time. I'm trying to multitask. I'm enjoying it. I am, and I can't tell you how much it means that you're on here with me. I'm like a kid at Christmas. This was great. I'm a professional speaker. One of the questions that somebody said, I'll tell you what, I'll cover that in a second after the next rip. Because I think people, you know, one guy said, do you work? Are you retired? What do you do? Are you able to do it? You're out on the road? And it's like, yeah, I've got loads of answers to that. Right. Citrulline. I've heard of it, never tried it, Tommy. Pump more blood into muscles, make it live longer. Right. I'm definitely going to get a different pillow. Just in case you can't tell, orange is my favourite colour. I'm going to get an orange one. Right, focus on the fucking weightlifting, mate. That's what you're here for. You're in the gym, not on stage at the Palladium. Karen, is that 4? I'm like serious now. I don't know if I've done 4 or not. Karen won't be there anymore. I think she's out. She's out doing the lawn. Right, work. So I think, you know, this is all well and good, right? You got a gym at home, Dave? I think so. Question marks. Fucking hell. You're as bad as me, love. Hey? She's the one with, I was kicked out of school at 16. She's the one with the maths degree. She can't count to 4. Sometimes I think I'm with the wrong woman. So, work. I'm 57. I'm a professional speaker. And I've been that for nearly 30 years. So it used to be on personal development, brain training, mind mapping, memory, speed reading. It's what I did for the first 15 years, from Feb 97 all the way to 2012. Last 14 years I've been working on presentation skills coaching. But if you're a comedian, be cancelled. Well, Jimmy Carr gets away with it. But so I'm a professional speaker, and that's what I do. So at the moment, I work mainly with leadership teams or the chief exec on big talks. Worked on over $500 million worth of sales and investment pitches over the last 14 years. And that's what I do. And I go out there occasionally. So a lot of it I do online. And about 34, it used to be all face-to-face pre-COVID. Now it's a bit more online. And now I go out. So I've got a talk on Friday. I've got 10 chief execs in a room. On Friday, doing half a day. And we have 5 kids. We have 5 grandkids. When the grandkids come here, I don't train. Obviously, you know, first thing that little fucker does when he wakes up, he goes, "Granddad." So I'm like, in there like a shot. Where's my little superstar? And in the dark, he always goes, "Here." I went, "That's my boy." Got to breed a bit of confidence. And so, yes, I don't train when the kids are here. When I'm on the road, it's tricky, but I always find a gym. And nowadays, the greatest thing that happened to me was Airbnb. So what I do is I find somewhere that's basically home from home, and it's got a microwave. It's got somewhere to cook my food if I need to. So what I do is I get my egg whites, take them with me. So I get my, honestly, it's reversed is this thing. It's very hard to do. I say it's hard to do, it's not hard, but so I get my egg whites and I'll take them with me. I've got a plug-in cool bag, I'll plug in my car, and then I'll plug it in, and then I plug it in when I get to the, you know, Airbnb, put it in the fridge, and then just cook my food that I need. So I take it with me. I don't do it on the fly. I can't. If I eat on the fly, I'll eat shit. I'll eat too much. And it's a massive pain in the arse. If it's a longer trip, yeah, I rely on protein powder and oats. Those are the 2 things that I can take with me that don't need to be fruit. I can take them abroad. Well, I can't take the oats abroad, but you can take protein powder even on the plane if I travel. So I've spoken in 30 countries face to face and 30 countries online. So I go out sometimes to do international talks, and that's that's what I do. It's got to be my next set. Oh no, we're doing Scullies. Are you a football fan? No, couldn't give a fuck. So, Scullies. Scullies are 12 and a half. So skull is the skull crushers. You see what they are. You've got to keep your arms straight and you go down over your head. That's why it's called skull crushers, because if you drop them, you'll crush your skull. I do them with dumbbells. You can do them with barbells. You can do them with straight bars, and you can do it with an EZ. So if it's 12 and a half, that means it's 2 5s, 2 1.25s. Now, I don't need the same on both ends for this. I apologise if that noise is affecting your hearing it. So what I do is I'll just do it on one end. So that's 5. That's 6. So that's like half. That is half. For once, I'm doing as I'm supposed to, which is 50%. I shouldn't really go over 50% for warm-up, because otherwise it just drains the tank a little bit. And I really, really, really only have so much facility to lift weights. And when I'm doing super heavy, I want it for the super heavy set. So get them like that, go back, you'll see what I mean. So it's hands up above your head. You have your hands facing out a little bit. The most important thing here is, if you can, keep your elbows absolutely locked in place. Well, I say locked, not your arms. Keep your elbows in place. Then you go down as far as you can and then back up. So this is the first warm-up set. 2, 3. Now, because I'm a fucking idiot and I can't count, I'm going to get a counter. I'm going to get my water bottle of that other one, which I normally use, but I'm going to put it there. Right, so that's 1. So this is for triceps. The thing I love about this is it is an isolation exercise. So it just only does. Don't start bringing, how long is it? 5:30. Don't start bringing football talk on here and start getting all tribal and destroying my feed. Otherwise I'll shut this down, start it again. And the other thing we're going to talk about is snooker. I love sport. I love it. The artistry on the pitch for football, or the magic of a great passing rugby, it's incredible to see. Or somebody in full flow in the 100 meters. But I don't have a passion for any individual sport apart from snooker, which I could watch 8 hours a day, and I love to go and see live. So, but yeah, so skull crushers. So it's brilliant because it's an isolation exercise, but you can still get fairly heavy and get stuck into it. They are, you can do what's called pre-exhaust, which you do sometimes. Say, for example, if you're training legs, you could do leg extensions on the machine, which I can't because I don't have one, but I could do something different. And what it does is it kind of warms them up, drains the legs a bit. And then when you're going to do a big exercise like a leg press, or like me, I go on my sissy squat, which is somewhere. It's there, fuck me. It's a garage, I can't find my own shape. And then when you go in, then it kind of overworks the muscles, and that's pretty good. But for me now, because I've done chest, that's already warmed up my triceps a little bit. So I'm going straight in and doing an isolation. The most important thing for me is I've had to adapt. Somebody says, well, why don't you do this for your triceps? I go, because that hurts, whatever. So I've had to adopt and adapt. And that's really, really important. If you only take one thing away from today, don't listen to what people say unless they're giving you something that you think is useful for you. But when you take it away, don't take it as gospel. I'm doing what I'm doing here, and it's very, very, very specific for me. Somebody says, oh, well, you should be doing Smith machine in the gym. And I'm like, not only do I not go to the gym, but even putting that on one side, Smith machine murders my shoulders. It hurts. But dumbbell chest press I can do. Why? I don't know, and I don't care. Right. Second warm up.
Right, those were quite easy. So I'm going to go with 12 and a half. I'm going to go with 12 and a half, but I might get more reps. But I might be talking out of my arse and fail at 6. The joy of lifting weights. Thing is, we're not robots. And so, whilst I have all the numbers on my board, it really hurts when I come in and I lift and I don't lift as much as I could. Because psychologically, it's like, well, I did it last time. Nothing's changed. I should be able to do it this time. And so I should be able to do it this time. And then all of a sudden you can't. How much charge is left on me? Got my little rod mic to try and keep the quality up. Other questions? Were you on steroids? No, so I've never taken steroids. I think I mentioned it earlier in the live stream. It's just, it wasn't for me. Back in the day, I trained in my 20s and hard for about 6-7 years. I was 26, lived in the gym, went after work, went at 5 o'clock, big crowd, got to know the guys. And I would have said 80% at that time were taking gear in the gym and they were banging it in and looked absolutely frigging massive. But there were two issues for me. First of all, I was an operational firefighter in my 20s. And I just thought, I don't think it's a good idea of me taking steroids when I'm a firefighter. I just thought it might mess with my head. Would it affect my judgment? Plus, the other thing is, I didn't have the money. So I was a big drinker in my 20s. I wasn't alcoholic, but I went out 4 nights a week and I just drank to get pissed. So I was just crawling on my hands and knees, being sick, God knows what else, you know, waking up in a ditch. I mean, it all happened in my 20s. And it was all a bit weird and extreme. So I just wanted to spend, I didn't even have a car. As a firefighter, I lived in a bedsit the size of this garage, maybe even smaller. So it's a bed in one corner, TV in the other, and a sofa, and that was it. And that's all I did in my 20s. So I just went out drinking and I didn't spend it on gear. Because I can remember growth hormone, which is exactly what it sounds. And it was like 20, 30 quid a shot. And the guys were taking it once or twice a week. And they looked massive on it. And I wanted to be that big. I know most people don't, but I did, but it just didn't suit me. It just didn't work for me in terms of, falling into that pattern of taking gear. But I trained with guys who did, which was difficult because they pushed me hard because they could train harder than me, but I couldn't keep up with them. But I did train better for it. So it wasn't for me. And actually, when I came to compete in 2019 in a bodybuilding competition, I only competed with one association, which in UK was the Natural Physique Association. And the reason I wanted to compete with them is because they are the only association in the UK that has a policy where you must be a lifetime natural, never taken anything. Other federations, some have got different policies, but for that, so it's like I only wanted to compete on a bodybuilding stage with other people who'd never taken gear because I felt that was a more level playing field. So I competed twice, came last twice. Yeah, it was a great experience, but yeah, I looked like a little runt on stage. I did. Right, working set. Too long a rest. Got to time it out now. Right, so I'm going to time it out properly. That's one. I've done one. 3:15. Because I'm chatting too much. I'm having too much fun. chit-chatting. So yeah, no steroids for me. I'm not going to start now. I will think about TRT at some point, which I've mentioned before, but if when my dick stops working properly and my energy levels really tank, then I'm going to go and get tested. But at the moment, everything is fine and dandy. Up with the larks. With your diet, it's protein, 60% carbs, 30% fats. You know, I'll tell you what it is. I do 200 grams of carbs a day, 200 grams of protein a day, 1,600 calories. And they say that for 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, and fat is 7, which is why you can eat more carbs for the same calories as fats. Depends which makes you feel full. But I've never found a food that's absolutely like that. The only thing I found that was even close is these egg whites are the closest you're going to get to that number. There's 54.5 grams of protein in there for 240 calories. And even that, so even that's 4.5. But generally speaking, even if you're eating chicken, it's going to be 5 grams per 5 calories per gram. Sorry, 5 calories per gram. So at 200 grams, basically 1,000 calories of my 1,600 that I have every day are protein. And I don't give a fuck where the other 600 comes from. Sometimes it's fat. I had a high fat meal yesterday. Other days, Karen and I sit and have chicken and rice, and so it's more rice. But it doesn't seem to affect me either way. So I don't need to worry about which is protein and carbs. I need to get the 200 grams in. I need to eat no more than 1,600 calories, and my weight comes down, and my strength seems to maintain. That was a good set, wasn't it? 11 reps. Oh, I'm a fucking legend in my own gym. I come in here, you're a superstar. That's what you are. David, nobody's listening. Nobody's watching. You're in your own gym. 3:15. You see, I'm counting now. Such a professional. But the thing is, though, my reps are going to fall. So again, little differences. With chest, I seem to recover really well and be able to do well. So I did 3 sets of 8, 1 of 7. That was a set of 11. Next one's going to be 9. It's a small muscle part, the tricep. It's an isolation exercise. So it gets, once you've burnt it, you know, I've drained the tank on my triceps now. Next 3 sets, I'm just holding on, doing the best I can. If I want to, I can move my shoulder a little bit to get it going, which helps. There we go. Set number 2. Set number 2. Seven. Come on. Fucking get up. Come on. Oh, you bastard. Oh. That was 9 and a very squirrely one. 7:15 and move my counter. Come on. Oh dear. So in terms of percentage, yeah, it's about 60%, yeah. Right, question of P. If you don't have a question, just keep going down the ones I've been given. Can I have a full set of your gym gear? This is dead basic. I have 3 kettlebells, 5 kettlebells, one at 20 kilos, one at 35. And then we have 3 that are 5, 15, and 10. And they're all pounds. Just to make you like this, because Karen's got a master's degree and I'm really smart, genuinely smart. So we saw these kettlebells, nice little set, Mirror Fit, which is the brand of other stuff I've got, which I like. So we trot over to this house to get them. And I'm thinking, these are about half the price they should, but they look unused and everything else. So we go and get them. And then we get them in the car and we're going, these are a bit lighter than we thought. Anyway, the pounds, not kilos. But I like them and I use them occasionally. I use the 15, which is only like 7 for doing front raises because my shoulder really won't take heavy. So we do still use them and we kept them, but we have 5 kettlebells. I've got a shrug frame, which is a frame that goes around that is, you know, about just like middle of my legs up to middle of my thighs. And then it's what I do. I can load the weights on handles and lift it up, and it's one I use for shrugs. I've got obviously free weights, 200 kilos, all the way from 25 down to the smaller ones. We have 2.5 kilo weights, which we call biscuits. And then we have 1.25, which I'm using over there, and we call them cock rings. Karen, go and get a couple of cock rings. So those are the 1.25s. I've got sissy squat, which is incredible. Very, very small. Brilliant for your legs. Make it as hard as you like. It's absolutely awful. And then I've got a bench. I've got TRX. I had when I was in the previous house, we got a copy TRX and it was brilliant. But I just thought, I'm spending, you know, I'm getting my gym done. I'm going to get a proper TRX. It's like 3 times the price, but it is beautiful. And TRX is incredible, incredible. And then the other thing that we have that we use a lot are bands. So we have proper bands. Don't get ones. Please don't get ones that are not really, really good. If they go ping, you'll end up flat on your face or it'll take your fucking eye out. So we've got some proper bands, hard bands, some really, really good handles, got carabiners, got a massive anchor point up there and doing the chest. And, you know, I can use it for pull downs and all sorts of stuff. Right. Set number 3. Go. Right, that's 3. I've done 3. Right, one more. 11:15. Oh, didn't I put it down? Did you not see it? Oh, well, apologies for that if you didn't see it. So you see what I mean? I did like 11 reps the first one, 10 and a shitty one for the second, and now I'm down to 7.5. You just learn as you go. I could drop the weight for the last one. I probably should. But I only do super heavy 25% of the time, so I don't mind if I'm struggling a bit, or even if my reps drop to 6. For a set, I'm not bothered. I don't know what's in my mouth. Because the rest of them, I pull up, you know, with the others, I do more reps. So, do I take anything for sleep? I don't. My sleep's okay. You always feel like it could be better. It's something I should monitor. Considering how much I love my spreadsheet for food and training, my board for putting it up. Honestly, I can't even do it in reverse. How do you deal with stagnation? So somebody asked about that. Somebody asked about that and said, do you use refeeds? Well, a refeed is when you're under calorie, you might do, say, 6 days in a row. Then on day 7, you're over calorie. So, you know, like me, I'm on 1,600 calories a day. Today, I might just decide I'm going to have 2,500 or 3,000. The idea is it's boosting metabolism and increases your basic metabolic rate. So your basic metabolic rate is the amount of calories you need to eat at standstill, if basically just to exist. And then on top of that, you can increase how much your body burns by doing walking, doing your 10,000 steps, exercise, even weightlifting, and of course, CV. Fucking hate CV. But all of that then adds on and basically you build up your total energy output for the day, total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. And So, but the thing is that when you're in a calorie deficit and you start losing weight, your basic metabolic drops. So what you're doing is you feel like it's a race to the bottom. If I just keep cutting, and eventually you get to the point you can't do that. So a refeed is designed to boost your metabolism. Your body thinks, shit, more food's coming, and up your basic metabolic rate goes. However, most people just use it to overeat. And because I binge eat, then it's not really a good idea for me to do that. At the moment, I'm 4 weeks in, 4 weeks and 2 days, 3 days, 2 days. It's my third day. And for me, it's fairly straightforward. I'm losing weight, so I don't need a refeed. And I've not hit any stagnation. Plus, because I've got my spreadsheets from when I was 43 in 2011, I didn't stagnate there either. But what I did notice is that when I overate, for whatever reason, I went on a bit of a binge, it took me ages. So there was 1 week where I ate 3,500 calories 2 days in a row. Can't remember why, didn't put it in my notes, but basically I just lost my mind and sat there and fucking stuffed my face. I've been on a diet for 4 months. The 5 days that followed that, my weight came back down as I went back on my diet, but for the whole 7 days in that week, my weight didn't shift. So the thing is, I can't afford blowouts. So when people say refeed, they mean, well, you know, what do you mean? So for me, a refeed would be maybe having an extra 400 grams of carbs or fats. I'm already getting my protein. And that might not be a bad idea, but if I don't need to do it and I'm functioning and I can do my job, my speaking, and I can do these videos, which take a lot of time and a lot of focus, and I can do it. If I can do all that, then why would I? Why would I do a refeed? So the answer is I don't at the moment. We'll have to see if I kind of need to. But before I do my last set, here's the thing. The thought of my weight going back up creates a huge amount of anxiety for me. Massive anxiety. Not like, you know, on the floor. Like, I don't mean that level of anxiety. What I mean is it just makes me a bit nervous, a bit antsy, you know. And the thing is that I eat the food and then I've got to lose it again. So my weight will always go up on a refeed. It's never going to be, well, it won't affect you. It just does. And I know it does because I've got the numbers to show from last time. So keeping it tight, keeping it low, moving along. I'm in a place of great stability, eating the same food, roughly losing the same amount of weight, and moving towards my target. And when that stops, I'm going to have a sit and have a rethink. But I don't need to do it yet. That's a long rest. Put the thing down. Be a professional, Dave. Last set. Slightly longer rest, which makes a massive difference to me. So this should be a solid 8. That's 8. Come on, come on, come on. Well, I went for a 9. Kind of wobbled it up, didn't I? And that's it. We're done. Happy days, eh? Oh. And that's it for super heavy push. Chest, shoulders, triceps. Now, at this point, it's where Karen comes running through the door, punches me in the face, and says, make sure you stretch off your muscles. Which is really, really good, because obviously when you're doing it, your muscles tighten up. So stretching off after you've trained is a good idea. I'm honest, I don't do it enough. When I'm my own in here, I just forget. I'm a world-class memory guy, right? Back in February 1998, I broke, I can't remember the date. That's embarrassing. 1st of May 1998, I broke a Guinness record for reciting pi to 22,500 digits. I've been US memory champion. Came 3rd in the world memory championships. I've got this amazing memory, and I come in here and it's so, I need a sheet on the wall. you know, take your pre-workout, take your creatine, do this, do that. I'm stretch off afterwards. Otherwise, it's amazing how much I forget. I can't even count to frigging 4. So, and actually the biggest thing I do, and that Karen does when we're training together, is tells me to breathe, because I hold my breath through the set. Now, I find it hard to breathe out when I'm doing the rep. And I did it there because it's a small exercise. It's an isolation. It's only scullies, right? It's only little dumbbell scullies. I've only got 12 and a half, well, 15 with the bar. But when I'm doing like the chest press, I feel I go for it. And the thing is, if I hold my breath all the time, clearly I'm just going to run out of oxygen and pass out. So that's not a good thing to do. I'm going to go through a few of the other questions that people have asked. I always think if somebody's asked a question, I always answer the comments. At the moment, you know, the channel is highly manageable, but and I will always do my best. And I don't mean that like shitty, do my best seriously. I sit there spending a lot of time answering comments because you've spent the time and effort to come on, watch my video, and then make a comment and share a lot of time your own story. And it is magnificent. And I feel the very least I can do is just recognize that and respect you and comment back. If it gets so big that I can't answer all the comments, then that's just is what it is, because it's kind of shifting. The channel's moving in the right direction. But people ask questions. And so I think the advantage of a live by this is I just pull out all the questions that people ask. So I think if one person asks it, loads of people are probably going to be interested in the answer. So let's just go through the others. Do you have kids taking up your time? Yeah, 5 of the fuckers. And 5 grandkids. Jesus Christ. They come in, they steal my money and they steal my time. We live to be grandparents. We love it. It is amazing. And so, yeah, they do take up time. But it's a good distraction because I'm obsessive. You know, my mother was an alcoholic. She died from alcoholism at 54. It killed her. She died of an alcoholic cardiomyopathy. That was what was on her death certificate. The fact is, you know, she was addicted to alcohol before I was born. And that's what did her. So I'm not an addict. And I know what that looks like. I'm not an addict. But at the same time, I do have some of those tendencies, and I am obsessive. And so therefore, you know, I've been doing these videos and editing them till 2 a.m. because I just want them to be the best they can be. I'm a perfectionist, and I want it to be successful because, you know, I just thought it would be me for 6 months, and now it isn't. It's a bunch of people like you coming on here wanting to share your experiences, ask a few questions, and come along for the journey. And that's a magnificent thing. But now I'm obsessive about this, like I am about everything. And the kids are just the most beautiful, wonderful distraction. So Nathan, my son, got in touch and he said, will you have Arthur every Friday during the summer? And I'm like, absolutely. Because otherwise life just gets, you know, I get lost in my own head. And that's helping me. That's helping me lose the weight. But it's also what made me so fat. Just these extreme elements to my personality. And it's hurt me very bad over the years, and it will get me in shape again. But I need that distraction. And you know, little Arth is 4, and it's just the most magnificent distraction. He's just wonderful. Do you train at the same time every day? So training time is critical for me. Oh, when I got my bodybuilding coach, first thing he says is, don't train at 6 a.m, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, why? And he goes, you need the food. You know, you want to be completely wide awake. You want your system to be running, you know, all your joints and everything else. You've been walking all day, up and about doing this. And also you've had like 2 or 3 meals. And he says, yeah, do it. And I saw, you know, I've tried it. And of course I can. If I travel and the only time I can train is in an evening because I've been working all day doing a session with a client, and that's the only time I can train, that's when I train. But to do it regularly is just very, very difficult, particularly when I'm on a diet. So what I find is that when I'm training, if I'm training during the day, if I have to, and I'm on a diet, literally 30 minutes on the wrong side of it. If I'm 30 minutes too close to my last meal, I feel sick. If I'm 30 minutes too far away from my last meal, I go hungry. And then I find myself getting hungry while I train. But this is after I've eaten. I don't really understand it. But in the morning I wake up, I come downstairs, I have my pre-workout, have some creatine, and I get in here and I can train like that because I've not eaten yet today. So I can train like that. I can do an hour on the cross trainer and I'm good. And I can perform at that level. Maybe I could lift more if it was the other side at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But it just destroys my time. I can't sit there thinking about it. I love training. I love it so much. Don't like the cross training, as you know. Again, just don't like it. But the weights, I could do 25 hours a day, right? 8 days a week. Love it. But even so, I want to get it out of the way. I have a life here. Me and Karen live and work in the house. We have kids and grandkids. So I train it every day. And now I'm getting up at 6 because it just takes a while. By the time you've done your stretching, then I've done my workout, which is an hour, 15 minutes stretching, an hour doing the weights. Then I do a bit of stretching, then an hour on the CV. I have to do it in 2 30-minute slots because I can't do 30 minutes on the CV because my feet go to fucking sleep. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm looking at you. Bastard. And so I have to get off and, my feet are just completely numb. So I have to sit there for 5 minutes and then start again. Then I have to do high intensity. So it takes a while, which I don't mind because I love being in the gym, but I want it over and done with. 8:45 in the morning, I'm done. I'm in there, protein shake, ready for work, showered and done. If I'm sitting there thinking about it, then it's going to play in my mind. The other thing is as well, is that if I wasn't training at 6 o'clock, I wouldn't get up and work. I just don't have that level of focus. So it works for me to train at the same time every day. How much do you time spend doing training spreadsheets meals? Well, I eat the same meals every day. They're very easy to prepare. We have egg whites. I get 2 out of this, 2 meals out of this. I eat it once a day, so we cook it. It takes 5 minutes to cook. In the microwave, some veg, ketchup, and ham. Throw some ham on top. So it's not that much prep time. Protein shake is obviously nil. I have cottage cheese and pineapple at 3 p.m. That just comes out the tub on a plate, half a tin of pineapple. And then the evening meal we sit and eat together, and it depends what we decide to have. I'm terrible cook, so I'm very fortunate Karen does that. Spreadsheet takes me about 10 minutes a day now. So what I do is I have 2 spreadsheets. One is all the food I put in and my totals, but I have a second sheet on the spreadsheet. Every time I eat something that I think I might eat again, I'll just put all the numbers in. So literally I'll just go cut and paste. So, all of us tend to eat the same kind of food or even the same food. And, like last night I came in at 7 o'clock. What do you want? I want dusted fish. So we've got some frozen dusted fish from the supermarket. It's very, very nice. I've got that in, so I just cut and paste it in. So adding up all the numbers on the spreadsheet and doing the spreadsheet takes me 10 minutes a night, and that's it now. What are your thoughts on weight loss jabs? I love them. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you any medical advice or even give you that from that perspective at all, because I just don't know whether it's whether they're good, bad, or indifferent for any individual. But clearly, I mean, all of us now know people have been on a weight loss jab, and as far as I'm aware, and from what I can see, it has been transformational for pretty much everybody I know for 2 reasons. One, they lose weight, but also it seems to improve overall health. Other different things, and I'm not going to go into any detail, but chat to a few people. I said, any other benefits? And they've gone, yeah, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, that's really interesting. And so I think you got it. But if you go online and you go, what are the downsides of taking Mounjaro or Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever they're called, then you're going to get somebody go, well, I took it and, I sprouted a second head and lost a kidney. And you go, shit, better not take it. And so fair enough. But, see a doctor, get all the medical advice you can, and then see. But yeah, they appear to be very positive. My only issue, and I've said this, I think I said this on my very first video on the channel, my concern, and I've seen it with a couple of people, is, yeah, people lose weight, but what they can do is still eat shit food. So then somebody once said to me, I've lost a load of weight using, weight loss jab. I went, brilliant. And then they went, how do you get rid of your bingo wings? And I'm like, well, what you should have done was change your food and do some resistance training from day one. But they didn't do that beforehand. They didn't do any resistance training beforehand. But, when you're fat, you only have one goal, And that's just to be fucking smaller. Just, I want to be smaller. And it's addictive when you get smaller. But then all of a sudden you start to realize, well, actually what I really want, not everybody, but for most people, they go, well, actually what I want to do is just be kind of in decent shape as well. I don't want to be skinny fat. I don't want to have enough, you know, loose skin left at the end that I could recover the car seats. I mean, you know, and so the thing, that's my only worry, is that it doesn't change people psychologically into thinking, eat better food, do a bit of exercise while I'm also losing the weight. Which, to be fair, why would people think that? If they could just take the jab and lose weight and still eat the odd donut and crappy food, then why would they change? Can you tell me what lighting you use? This is very specific, but I changed this into a gym. To me, atmosphere is absolutely everything. So I do like though. Have you seen those like big kind of fancy lights that are like little strip lights that go across the whole ceiling? They're dead expensive, but they look absolutely beautiful. Well, I just got these. These are like, you know, 30 quid, 50 bucks each, and I just got them stuck on the ceiling, and it's been great. So that's nice. Good flooring. If you do decide to train at home and you decide to convert a room or you do your garage, make sure you get good flooring. If you get bad flooring, it will hurt you, or cheap flooring. This is dead simple. It's 20 mil very hard rubber, 1 meter by 1 meter, and it's in, and we laid it on an uneven concrete floor. We rammed it in, and it's never moved a millimeter. It's incredible. But the most important thing is you do not want to pick up a weight and the floor moves. So if you put down a mat and it moves, then you're asking for trouble. So get good flooring. Was it hard to get into diet tracking? When I did it when I was 43, yeah, it was horrific. I tried every diet under the sun in my 40s, in my late 30s, early 40s. So I tried all different diets. I tried Atkins. That was the thing. Do you remember that? Back in the day. And it was like, it just didn't work. I didn't lose any weight. So then it was like, right, well, what else can I do? And I just read that psychologically, if you write down everything that you eat, psychologically, it works really powerfully. You just don't want to put shit in a spreadsheet. And I'm like, fuck off. That's a load of bollocks, man. How can that even work? I'm a smart guy. I can figure this out. Anyway, I thought I'm going to do it. And I did. And it just worked. And it was just weird. Weird on a whole different level of weird. It was like, some kind of, you know, mindfuck voodoo, something entered my head kind of shit. You know, Twilight Zone, X-Files. And it was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put crap into my spreadsheet. And it worked. It did. Plus, the other thing is, once you start seeing the numbers and you lose a little bit of weight, then it becomes kind of fun because you sit there going, well, actually, if I eat a bit of this, I can do that and I can do this. And then you can see the spreadsheet. And instead of just sat there thinking on a Saturday, can I get away with having a chocolate bar? Can I get away with this? Can I get away with that? Which is what you feel. You know, we all miss food. We all have amazing food that we love, that we would crawl over broken glass to a war zone to eat one bite of. And, you know, we say, oh, I just love that. And the thing is, you sit there and go, how can I get it into a food prep, you know? And you sit there, well, when you do the numbers, you go, you can do it pretty guilt-free. So last night, for the first time in like 4 weeks, since the first week, I had 2 chocolate bars. It was Saturday night, and I really, really fancied them. Nutrageous, Reese's Nutrageous, my absolute fave. Got them in the biscuit, you know, in the piggy cupboard, as we call it. Going in the piggy cupboard. So I went in, got a couple of bars out, sat and ate them because I didn't really eat that much yesterday. I went away, I was out there watching the cricket, had a great day, and so I had a couple of chocolate bars, and I did it relatively guilt-free because it worked for my numbers. And this morning I woke up, no weight loss, but no weight on. And so the thing is, when it came to doing it this time, I slipped back into it really well because I knew it would work. Do you change exercises? Yes, I do, in the gym here. So for me, and I can only ever say this for me, right? It's I've always found that when I do either an exercise I've done previously again, or when I do a new exercise for a body part, I get massive DOMs. So DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. That's when you wake up and you go, chest is a bit tight after yesterday's workout. That's DOMS. And people will argue the point. You can go on and have a look. Some people will say DOMS is a good thing. Some people will say it's a bad thing. But I know if I wake up in the morning and I can't go like that with my arms because my chest is so tight, I've murdered it yesterday in the gym, the day before in the gym. To me, that's a pretty good sign. So I'm always looking to try new exercises. I don't want to change them all the time because I want to get a measure. And there'll be some exercises I can go heavier, which means I get more resistance through. But it is amazing how quick your body adapts to a specific exercise. Even if it's really hard, like dumbbell chest press there, that was hard. But it's amazing how quickly it adapts to it. So I'm always looking to shock my muscle, even at my age. And also a bit of variety. I love training. I don't mind doing dumbbell chest press for the next 30 years till I drop dead. But at the same time, a bit of variety helps. So what I do is I have a board up there and I take a picture of it. And then what I do is, you know, so there's like 4 phases and 3 body parts. So that's every 12 days. I sometimes do GVT, which is that little, I'm going to try and do it now. Hell, I'm smart, me. Look, that's the German flag. So that's GVT, which is 10 sets, 10 reps, 60 seconds, same weight all the way through, 60% of your 1 rep max. So I do that. So at the most, it's a 15-day turnaround to do an entire board. Probably do that. And then I've got 4 days rest in between. So, you know, whatever that is, it's like 20 days, right? So 20 days because I have rest days. So it's, you know, it's getting on for a month. But I'll probably do it for 3 months and then change it. So I wipe the whole board clear because it's all, you know, marker pen or whatever. And then what I do is I'll take a picture of that and then I'll come back on and put new exercises on. But I'll keep a picture of that one so that I can come back and change it again. How long is your cardio for? Well, at the moment, I'm doing it for 60 minutes because I know that it is like holding a blowtorch to your fat. It is incredible. That thing I hate, but it works. And so I do it. So I do 60 minutes every day, most days. You'll see from the spreadsheet when I show it on a Friday that, yeah, some days I only do 30 if I can't get it in. But basically, I know that if I do 60 minutes in a day, I'm going to lose the weight I need, which is ½ a pound. That is not going to shift itself. Last question. Is your spreadsheet purely reactive or does it include for planning? Just in case you've not seen anything of what I've been discussing over the last couple of months, I use a spreadsheet and I live by it. So I have a spreadsheet. I put in there my food, what my weight is, my blood pressure, and you know what phase of training I've done, how much CV, and I have all my totals, and I have put in the weight loss as well. So I've got my spreadsheet there. And the guy just said, basically, do you just put down what you eat and see what it is, or are you planning? I plan. So the one thing I didn't do when I was 43 in 2011 is I just sat there and thought, just keep eating something you like, Dave, because that's going to make it painful. But just try and squeeze it all in and work out the numbers. And it was just, I was like hanging on by my fingernails every day. And it worked. I lost 5 stone in 5 months, put 60% back on in 6 years. But even putting that on one side, it worked. This time, I've got a fixed plan. The first 3 meals of the day are the same. Protein shake at 9, egg whites, not today because I've been training, 12 egg whites, cottage cheese and pineapple at 3. And then tea time, we have there's a bit of variation. But effectively, it's not reactive. I do plan. And that's what goes in. First live, YouTube live on my channel. There's 19 of you still on here. I cannot tell you how much it means that you're here. It means a great deal. You know, honestly, I get very, very touched. Thanks for the comments and some great questions in there. Does anybody get anything they would like to ask before I go? Well, have a magnificent day. I'm going to be dropping another video Tuesday. I did go to the cricket yesterday and it was unlimited free food. It was hospitality, corporate hospitality. I got invited by a client and it was incredible food. I took videos of it and footage and also even took pictures of what I ate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do social eating on Tuesday because I think eating out is a bastard. It hurts like never before. It is really tricky. The moment you go out, you just want to enjoy. You want to enjoy life. So how do you fit it all in? Well, I'm going to explain exactly what I did yesterday. and I've got some footage, and I will see it tomorrow. So have a great week. Have a great Sunday if you're in the UK or even elsewhere. But have a great day. I will see you Tuesday. Thank you very much, everybody.